Hey guys. It was really dark in there. So we are getting ready to hightail it because I'm running late. Now, y'all are used to seeing me run a little bit late. But this is not what I usually run late for. Usually I'm running late for USPSA. Today is not USPSA. Sorry for the camera wobble, but today is something a little bit different. Today is a shooting competition, but it's not USPSA. Let's get to work. Hey guys, Andrew here. Welcome back to Work the Trigger. Let's get some sunlight in here, shall we? Today we're heading out to Wildcat Valley Rifle and Pistol Club. And as I said, we're shooting a competition, but not USPSA. So Andrew, you may ask, are you shooting IDPA? No. No, I'm not. I am not cut out for IDPA, for I have no vests. That's a lie. I do have vests, but not the right kind of vests. Anyway, we are going out to shoot PCSL. This is a newer competition style that is a multi-gun style. This is rifle and pistol. That is about the extent of what I know. Course setup is very similar to USPSA. I don't know a whole lot else about it. And I'm going out like fresh. The guys that I shoot with normally went out and had like a warm-up or a tester day, and I didn't make it. So when I say I'm new, I mean I am new. I have no idea what to really expect. Like, I'm expecting USPSA-ish as far as like the beginning goes. You get there, you go in, you get pay, and you get your belt and your guns all ready. Walk the stages, take a look, run over the stage plans. Haven't seen any of the stages. I'm assuming they're online, but I did not see them. Didn't really look either, so there's that. They're probably there. But really, the thing that I am looking forward to is this is gonna use a lot of different skills. I am not gonna be able to rely on pistol skill for this. Honestly, I have shot very little in the last probably 6 months or so. It's been about 5 months since my last match, and guys, I have just been really digging down, trying to get other projects done, and it's made life really busy. But I'm excited to get out to this match again, because this is something that is similar but different. It's just something that's going to change it up a little bit. I'm not saying that USPSA was getting old. Shooting guns is always fun, and USPSA especially, I have a blast with it. But it's just nice to get something different in. So I am really looking forward to this, although I don't know what to expect. So I will see you guys there. I don't really have a rundown to do. I don't have any of the beginning stuff to talk about. We'll talk about gear once we get there. I'll go over what I'm running, but I'm not, I don't know what to expect. So you guys are going in as blind as actually probably less blind than I am at this point. So we'll see you there. All right, guys, so we're at the range now. Looks like they're still setting up, so I'm gonna have to hurry and get out there to help them. But I have a question for you down in the comments. When you're heading to the range, what do you listen to? So I bounce back and forth, it all depends. This time I chose to listen to some rather loud music. Sometimes I listen to firearms-based podcasts. This time I chose loud music, and the specific music that I chose was Muse. Now, for those of you who don't know who Muse is, they are a British rock band who is, well, quite a few of their albums are what you would call anarchist. They're not like super anarchy, but it's just, you know, screw you, big government, you screwed us, we don't like you. So listening to that, this will sound absolutely horrible, but kind of gets me in the mood to go shooting. So do shooting podcasts, those are always nice, but I don't know, this time I was just in the mood for something loud. I'll probably listen to a podcast on the way back home, but what do you guys listen to on your way to the range? Are you like one of the quiet contemplators who actually thinks about the shooting? Are you one of those people who's got to like get in the mood, or are you just like focusing on firearms? What do you like? Write it down below. Okay, so setup is now done. Let's go over a little bit of what we're using. This background is really bad. I'm gonna move you guys. Okay, so I'm running my USPSA belt in spite of it not being USPSA, but standard mag carriers on that, except for these guys back here, the AR ones. These are the Harry's holsters. You'd think I'd remember what these were called since I helped design them, but find a link in the description down below for these. But that's what we're running for AR mags. Also running a Harry's holsters holster for the P10F that we're running, and we are running our P10F today. I'll show you that here in a little bit. Then we've got our Sons of Liberty Gun Works AR.
As long as you're sensible about it. Yeah. It's all right. Yeah, let's see if in the barrel.
Okay, so I don't know why you were on. So we run through a shooter prep meeting, and now we're on to stage prep. And I'll tell you guys, this is a different beast to what I'm used to. It's just different, completely different. You've got to work gun transitions and changes in. You've got to plan ahead for a hell of a lot more in this case, and I am not prepared at all. I was telling a buddy, I don't get nervous with USPSA shoots anymore. A little nervous today. We'll see how it goes. Need nothing to do now but shoot. I think I hit that one. Gotta stop leaving this thing on. So that was our first one. It was okay. Think I had a failure to engage. I'm not 100% sure. No idea what the hits were. I was busy trying to grab cameras and stuff. One downside about doing the recording on this, I will say that it is significantly more easier to screw up big time on this and break a 180 or something, since you're dealing with rifles and pistols so much, and since there's so much variability in your what you're actually shooting. I don't know, it leaves a lot open, which leaves a lot to be mistaken, which is not bad. Like, it forces you to really focus on what you're doing a little bit more, which I like, but it's just different. I'm not sure if I got my map back. Anyway, so finished up that one. I gotta go paste, and I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully, I've got a hard stop here in about 2 hours, so hopefully we can at least hit 2 more of these stages before then. We started shooting late. This is the first match that we've done here, so still kind of getting into the organization of it all. But looking forward to hitting these 2 last ones. I don't know what I'm gonna focus on, because that first one, there's just so much going on, and stage planning is really difficult, since basically you're memorizing 2 stage plans in a single stage and trying to string them together. So we'll see how the next one is, and I'll see if I can walk you guys through the difficulties in planning these things, but we'll see you over there. Okay guys, so here is why this is so messed up. This is a stage. It's a standard size stage that you would see on any USPSA course. However, you notice we've got normal cardboard brown targets over there. Come over here, we got a white one back there. That white one is not a no-shoot. That is a rifle target. You see those, the blue steel back there? Those are pistol steel. Essentially what we're having to plan is, you gotta plan your pistol stage, but you gotta, or rifle stage, and then you gotta end it at this point where it makes sense to swap the 2, and then you gotta get the other one. So 2 completely separate stage plans. All right, guys, so we're getting used to it a little bit. That one went better. Stage plan worked out a little bit better. It did a better job of like planning things out and connecting the 2. I don't know how well your guys' is going to turn out, because I have had camera issue after camera issue. I've had 3 cameras, had 2 cameras fail. One didn't work like it was supposed to. And then my hat cam, I forgot the clip. I didn't forget it, I lost it. So I gotta find that, but hopefully I can get video for you on this next one. I do have to leave early this time, so I'm not gonna hit all the stages. For being a first match, we're running through kind of slow. We're getting kind of the rhythm of it out, trying to get things figured out. But hopefully I can get 2 more stages in before I gotta cut and run. So far, takeaways are, in order to do this effectively, maybe not effectively, but in order to do this safely, it takes considerably more concentration, more planning. It is inherently more dangerous. You're dealing with 2 guns on every stage. Rifles, especially when moving, are extremely dangerous just because of how you have to run with them. You know, when you've got a pistol, you can just run pistol backwards. Rifles don't work quite that well, especially if it's a heavier one. It is fun. It's a different kind of fun than USPSA. USPSA is, because I've been shooting it for a while, it's kind of a no-brainer. Just go and have a good time. This is much more similar to training, which isn't bad. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not bad. It's just different. Expect different if you're used to USPSA, especially if you're used to IDPA. It's fun to get to shoot the rifles in a competitive aspect. I have never done competitive rifle shooting before, so it's nice to be able to get a rifle out here and really utilize the rifle in a different way than I'm used to. But as I said, it adds complexity, and that complexity is inherently adding danger to each one of the stages. 180s are really hard to comply with in some places. So a lot of movement with these. Probably should have started off with a little bit simpler stage designs just to get the crew kind of used to it. But so far, it is really fun. As I said, it's really fun working in the 2 different stage plans, working in the 2 different weapon systems, getting everything put together. It is something that competitors get blasted for a lot with not having enough versatility, not being able to change things up or move, or not being able to use multiple firearms. So this kind of clears a lot of that up. But again, it is way more thinking, not on the stage plan level, but on the safety prep level. I'm not saying that complacency is good anywhere. You should always be very adamant about it, but I am more... It's not myself that I'm paying more attention to, it's what's happening around. I feel a little bit more relaxed in between at my other matches, but that might just be because I am... because that's an environment that I'm used to being in. But I gotta head back over. We're getting ready to start the 3rd stage. Haven't looked at it at all, don't know the stage plan or anything, so I'm gonna head over there and listen so that hopefully I know what the hell's going on. Okay, so as you can see, we're getting a little bit more used to it now. That one went considerably better, getting a lot more comfortable with my rifle shots. Still a little bit slower than I'd like, but this gun, this rifle has about 80 rounds through it so far, so it's relatively new. It is it's a built by me, Sons of Liberty rifle, and I absolutely love this thing. It's got an A5 buffer system, which after having both the standard H2 and the A5s, A5 all the way. I've got one on my Grendel, I've got one on this one, and I will not go with anything else the next time I build. But we're getting a little bit better, we're getting a little bit quicker. Things are getting... they're just moving more streamlined, as you would expect. A lot of these guys aren't your your traditional competition guys, so they're kind of getting used to the flow of it. And I would tell you to expect that if you go to a PCSL match, it's going to pull out a lot of the guys who don't typically go to USPSA matches, which is good. Expanding the sport, getting more people in, getting more people to do the competitive aspect of it, because competition with this stuff, although it's not a replacement for training, it is a really good measurement of your training and how your training is doing. So it's really nice to be able to get out here and utilize more skill set and be able to really see what we can pull off. This next stage, I'm actually standing on it there. They just got finished pasting, so I got to get back over there. Looks like a nice quick stage, but I will probably, this will probably be my last one. So 4 stages in for the day. It's going to take a little bit longer than USPSA, so if you go out, expect that, because you're doing so much with different guns. Every single stage you shoot, you have to clear 2 guns, not just one. You have a little bit longer planning because you've got that 2-stage plan. So I'm going to head back over and paste. We'll see you on this one. Oh, this way. Let's start here. All right, guys, I am finished with PCSL for the day. We did get 4 stages in. It is a lot of fun. Once you get used to it and everybody starts getting more comfortable with it, it is significantly more fun than when you start off, once the butterflies are gone. But I feel like that's the majority of shooting competitions. We'll give you guys some tips here at the end of the video so that you kind of have an idea of things to look out for, things to prep for in PCSL. In the meantime, how did my day go? So overall, I am pretty happy with it. It wasn't the best showing that I've ever made, but for my first outing with it, and especially with shooting rifles, I don't shoot rifles much, which makes me sad, but the environments that I have to be able to shoot rifles in they're not conducive to like this kind of rifle shooting. Most of the time when I shoot rifles, it's sitting still on a bench or just plinking around, or it's not this, and I appreciate this. Appreciate what this forces you to do for a rifle. It really lets you be realistic with your skill set with rifles. Mine is subpar. My pistol shooting, generally pretty good. Didn't start off too hot today, but again, going back to what I was talking about at the beginning of the video, I haven't been shooting a whole lot, so my skill set is down. Shooting guns is a depreciating skill set. If you do not do it, they go away. As they say in the 40-year-old virgin, if you don't use it, you lose it. So as I'm putting stuff away, let's go over some of the things that we've learned today. Thing number 1 is ensure that you've got the course, the safety down beforehand. Make sure that everybody understands it, because with PCSL, you are probably going to have new, not used to competition shooters. And there are some competition things that roll over, things that people may not necessarily be used to. Things like the 180 rule, especially with rifles. Notice the rifles are a lot less intuitive to maintain that 180 rule. A lot of people getting really close there. So make sure that you explain the 180 rule, talk about rifles specifically. This is more for like the match directors, I guess, and how that 180 rule affects muzzle location. Muzzle down is not an effective 180. Must be muzzle down and down range. Muzzle just down range. It doesn't even have to be down. Just make sure it's pointed down range. Another thing, this goes equipment wise, and this is something that I found out the hard way, is test your shit. My rifle doesn't apparently like mags loaded to 30, which is weird. It was tossing them into the feed ramp weird, and download it to 29 and it was great. It was especially prominent I have an extension on a P mag, and that's the one that was really having issues with, which is weird because you would think that with that extension on there, the mag pressure would be a little bit lower. Now it was uploaded at +5, and I've uploaded to +4, so 34 rounds, which was still that under, but it's just weird. I got some more testing, but again, I only had like 60 or 80 rounds through this rifle in the first place. Beyond that, this thing is amazing. Second is things like chamber flags and stuff. They are less strict about chamber flags, but you should still bring them. In spite of being less strict about them, they are still important. Safety is important. Make sure you've got a chamber flag. I had actually removed mine to do a little bit of work to my AR, and forgot to reinstall it. Luckily I had one in the car, but now my car chamber flag is in the gun, so that means the next time I better have my gun chamber flag. As always, make sure you've got your eyes and ears, because like any other shooting sport, this one is dangerous for eyes and ears. Ears especially, eyes definitely up there. There are very rare events that I am in a match that I don't get hit with Spalding from the steel. Part of that is just location and the size of our range. Part of that is just the inherent risk of lead flying at steel things and splattering, because when lead hits hard things, it goes. So the next thing I want to go over is equipment. Now, for our PCSL match, you did not have to have a sling on a rifle. I would make sure that you bring a sling for a rifle, because I have a feeling that in the future, there are going to be courses of fire where you must like maintain control of your rifle over the whole time, or you have to start with the rifle on you and then switch to it. In all of ours, there wasn't necessarily an order that you had to start in, and there were dump barrels for all of the rifles, which is good. The dump barrels, I think, are, I think that's the safest way to ditch a rifle. There's a lot of weird stuff with PCSL, like there's a little bit of gray area on making a handgun safe to put it on a table. As long as you don't go in front of it, that you don't have to clear it, that kind of stuff. Not used to dropping handguns on tables because I'm not used to swapping firearm systems. So you can do reholster stuff, but I'm always, I don't know, reholstering on the move in a hurry. I can do it, but it's one of those things where, like, unless I don't have to, that's just an unnecessary risk I'm not going to take. My primary goal every time I go to something like this is to make it home with the same amount of holes that I went with. As for pistols, with pistols, like, really the belt setup, you can run literally anything. You can run an inside the waistband with some inside the waistband or inside the pocket mag carriers, and inside the waistband or outside the waistband AR mag carrier. You can run a competition rig. You can run a tactical rig. It really doesn't specify what you can run, which is really nice because eventually I'm going to run one of these with, like, my Staccato C2 in my carry setup. I'm going to run one with the SIG P365X macro, again, in my carry setup. I will probably run one with my X5 Legion at some point in a competition setup. So it just gives you a lot of versatility, and I appreciate that. Next up is something that's kind of weird, vigilance. Bring your vigilance with you because, again, it's not inherently unsafe. However, swapping around firearms as much as you are and having so many moving parts does inherently make it a little bit more dangerous. So just bring your vigilance, keep your head on a swivel, make sure that you know where people are, where the guns are, what they're doing. You don't have to, it's not like you're walking through Walmart or anything, but I just felt like it was a little bit more important to keep an eye on where people were going, especially with rifles. Now, rifles were always pointed down at the ground. Everybody was doing a good job while they were moving in and out of the stage. I just, I don't know. I don't trust people. You shouldn't either. And I think the last thing, I'll let you guys know if I think of something else, but I think the last thing is probably just your sense of fun. Because remember, in the end, this is a game. It is a fun thing to be able to go do, to test your skill set, to really be able to see, like, how you can put everything together. So bring your sense of fun, make sure you're having a good time with it, because if you're not, then you're probably not gonna do as good, and you are way less likely to end up coming back. So I will get with you guys here in a little bit once the scores come out. Obviously, I won't be able to see how I do overall in the match because they've got about 2 more hours of shooting left. I, however, am heading home. I can let you know kind of how I did on the stages. I scored that whole last one, kind of middle of the pack on that. Good on pistols, not so great on rifle. I'm slow on rifle shooting. I know that, but I'm getting better. So I'll see you here in a minute. So I neglected to get with you from the studio after the results came back. So we're going to do it here in the car while we're driving to the range. It is a country road, so no worries. There's nobody on here, and if somebody gets hurt, it's going to be me. Anyway, so the results came out, and I got 7th out of 9th. But there is a caveat there. I hit 50% of the points of the person who scored first, and I did not shoot 2 of the stages. So I shot a little bit over 50% of the total match and got 50% of the points. Would not have gotten first, would have probably been top 5 probably. Which, again, out of 9 people, that is not saying a lot. There were a lot of guys who had shot, obviously, more rifle than I had. I believe next time we are going to do the matches a little bit shorter. They do take longer with the PCSL, just because you've got 2 stage plans to prep, 2 guns to have to worry about. So I think we're doing 4, maybe 5 stages next time. But at the end of the day, it was a very fun time. I did appreciate the usage of the different skill sets. I will probably not completely avoid USPSA for PCSL. I think it is fun in a different way. We'll still shoot USPSA every now and then. I'll probably bounce back and forth between the two. But with that, I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for checking it out. If you've got any questions about PCSL, about how it runs, about what things to be careful of, what things to bring, etc., go ahead and write that down in the comments below. If you've been to a PCSL match, write what your experience was down there. So thanks everybody for watching. Remember, I appreciate every one of you. And until next time, do your research, get informed, and get to work.